Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So basically today I'm doing a sit down video to discuss preparing for Jeremy to go to basic training. So yeah, I'm just gonna get directly into the video. The next video is going to be a video with me and him, so of course stay tuned. He's gonna tell his perspective about preparing for basic training / basic training reception, him being in white phase, red phase, yellow phase, blue phase, white phase, all of the phases of basic training. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So I got my phone by me because, and you may see me looking down a little bit because I am going to be looking at dates. So you guys will know exactly how this process went. And then I'm going to be searching my text messages, so I definitely know the chronological order of how things happen. So, ASVAB. Okay. So, what does that mean? Okay. So, as I said in my previous video, if you haven't watched it, How I Met My Husband, basically talks about towards the end of the video how he decided he was going to go to the military. Of course, we had discussed it before, but it was never a conversation where Jeremy was definitely adamant about going to the military. He always said that would be like a last resort type of thing if he couldn't figure out or find something that he really wanted to do. So with that being said, we got engaged. We went to Las Vegas for his birthday. We came back, and I want to say towards the end of October, I was at work one day and Jeremy texted me or called me and was like, I'm gonna go take the ASVAB. I was like, wait, what you mean? So he was like, I'm gonna just go take it. So I think Monday, October 26th, I said, well, why? And then he said he just wanted to take it. He said he was nervous. He wound up just going up to the recruiting office and doing it. So you got this, just look at it as. So me being me, we're talking via text. He said, babe, I'm nervous as hell about this. I said, of course, me. I'm saying, why? What happened? He was like, I'm still here. It's like really hitting me today. I said, why are you nervous though? You got this. Just look at it as you're going to take 10 steps forward for your family, creating a life and securing benefits. He said, understandable. I woke up feeling this way. Something just feels off. And this situation is very big. And I said, it's probably because you never saw yourself doing it. I should have put the text messages on the screen, shouldn't I? But it got some other stuff in here, so not gonna put that on there. But he said he had to take the full ASVAB, and then there will be another test for his MOS. My husband is a 17C or a 17 Charlie, which is cyber security or cyber operations. I don't necessarily know the technical phrase that they use for it in the military, but that just means like computer stuff and how people, well, some computer people are like hackers and all that different stuff. So basically his MOS, I feel like, basically sees a threat, a cyber threat, before anybody else will see it, or they track things like that, I guess. Of course, because he hasn't gotten into his job quite yet, I don't necessarily know what it entails. So of course, if you stick around for this whole series as he gets into school and starts taking his classes, I'm going to be learning as well as him. Not so far as much as being in the class with him, but I'll be learning with him because of course he's going to tell me about everything. So us preparing for him to go was super easy to me because me and him are both military babies. Both of his parents were in the military. Both of my parents were in the military. My brother is currently in. So we definitely look towards or look to the people who have been in prior to him and who are currently in for advice when it came to preparing and what to expect. His godmom, she retired out the military and things like that. So we were just utilizing everybody. I will tell people who are thinking about joining the military, if you know people in the military, definitely utilize your resources when it comes to getting information. No question is a stupid question. The stupid question is the question that is not asked. So with that being said, preparing for him to go to the military, I feel like it was definitely easy. His mom was a big help because she know a lot of people. So with that being said, we definitely utilized her more than we may have needed to because of course he had a recruiter, but his recruiter was like poo cheese, as my husband would say. So he takes the ASVAB. This is in October. So definitely, I think after he took the ASVAB, they said, okay, now I think he had 24 to 48 hours to take the other test for 17 Charlie. My husband scored super high. He's smart. He scored in the 90s on his ASVAB, and which means he was able to pick a job that he wanted. And when I say that, he had more options, I guess you can say. And it wasn't just like, oh, you scored a 62. Oh, so you gonna be doing this or doing that. It wasn't like they picked the job for him or selected the job for him based on his score. He was able to pick whatever he wanted. So he was like, babe, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should do healthcare? Do you think I should do engineering? Do you think I should do this? Should I do that? And I was like, do something that when you get out, when your contract is finished, when you transition to the civilian world, you will be able to get a job without a question. So he wound up picking the 17 Charlie, which is something he's always wanted to do, because he's gonna learn things like Python, HTML, all these computer terms, and get all these certifications that, hey, I don't got nothing to do with that. I work in healthcare, so boom, it is what it is. So after he took that test and passed it, due to COVID, they allow you to take the test at home, and then you have to go in for like a 5 to 10 question or 20 question test to make sure that whatever scores you got at home, you would get again, because it's like when you go into the office, you can't cheat. So that means don't cheat while you're at home, guys. So he went into the office, took the test. They told him that they had to wait to see if the job or the MOS was open. We didn't call his mama. We told his mama what was happening. We had people working behind the scenes to get my husband in this MOS. So he wound up getting the MOS. It was only open for a certain amount of time because they only have a couple of slots for that MOS, which is 17 Charlie. And MOS, I don't know what it stands for, but it's basically like, I don't know, maybe your job title, whatever. So he got it. Then it was just a waiting game because we didn't necessarily know when he was going to go to basic training. I think they had a projected date, but they didn't necessarily give him a date. So of course, then boom, Thanksgiving, we still haven't heard anything. I was praying that he would be able to stay for both holidays, which I'm happy he was. Then boom, here go Christmas. We still haven't heard nothing. I'm like, have you spoken to your recruiter? Have you reached out to him? So literally like the last week, or maybe even the first week of January, my husband finally hears from his recruiter. Mind you, I said he took the test in October. So you tell me if his recruiter wasn't Poochie's. But whatever. So here's from his recruiter. I'm like, babe, what do we have to get? Did he give you a packing list, this, that, and a third? I'm calling my brother because my brother is currently in the military. I'm like, what does Jeremy have to take the basic training? Because his recruiter ain't really told us nothing. And it gets me so frustrated when people around me are irritating or they just don't provide enough information. And I'm a person that please provide me with all the answers, or of course give me some of the information. I can look up the rest, but I don't want to go into something blind. So I'm very like that with my husband, and I'm like, look, we got to get this done. So his recruiter winds up telling him, oh, you'll ship out on maybe the 11th, I think. So, boom, week of. I'm like, what has your recruiter said? Has he given you anything? Oh, babe, he gave me some forms to fill out for COVID and this, that, and the third, making sure I haven't been around anybody with COVID, blah, 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 travel within 14 days out of the country. You know, all those questions they ask. Cool. Has he given you a packing list? So, at this point, we're asking people that we know about what to pack. Recruiter finally sends a packing list. On this packing list, it was super simple. So I'm gonna go through a packing list on what you should have. And I'll list here to the side of me things that a future soldier going into basic training should have. 1, have or utilize the book bag that your recruiter gives you when you enlist in the military. The book bag that says Go Army, I would definitely take that. 2, take maybe 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of underwear, because what they do not tell you is when you go, they're probably gonna dump out your things. Once you go to reception, they're gonna dump your whole bag. 3, since they will be dumping your bag, make sure you secure all of your belongings in Ziploc bags with your last name on them. Smart, right? Exactly. My husband thought about this because he was watching all kinds of videos before he went. 4, of course, bring your toiletries. But when I say bring your toiletries, bring travel size toiletries. No aerosol cans or anything like that when it comes to deodorant. Bring the stick deodorant to rub on. Travel size toothpaste, travel toothbrush, let's see, travel size shaving cream and razors. Of course, bring the travel size like lotions and stuff like that, because while you are in reception, you will be able to go to the PX, I think. Was it during reception or the first phase he had? I'm just gonna say during reception. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. You'll be able to go to the PX and buy all of the other products you will need. If you can 5, not find shower shoes, don't worry about it. You will be issued them when you go to basic training. Also, when it comes to bringing a 5 outfit, some J's, some this, some that, don't do it. You only need a hoodie, a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, ladies, clean underwear and bra, and a black pair of sneakers. I say a black pair of sneakers because these will be the sneakers that you'll wear traveling, and once you're able to get your stuff back and transition to AIT, you can either keep the running shoes that you had while in basic training or transition to the shoes that you bought. What we did for Jeremy, we went and got him fitted for some Asics, I think that's what he took. So when he went, he had on a black hoodie, a t-shirt underneath, some jeans that he really did not care for if they got messed up or not. I think he had another pair of pants or sweatpants, and he took 1 pair of sneakers, because what you do not know, when you get to basic training, you will be standing there with your bag like this the whole time. So you know if your bag is heavy, that gets super heavy in your arms. You're not going to be able to stand like that for a long time. And they will dump your belongings out on the ground. So I always say, put your belongings in Ziploc bags, label it with your last name. Also on your packing list should be item number 6, a combination lock. Your combination lock will be utilized for your locker and locking your bag when you're in basic training. You will put all your belongings into your locker at basic training, and it needs to be locked. Regardless if we want to say, oh, buddy system, this, that, and the third, nobody steals. People steal these days. Because also, I'm pretty sure when you went to basic training, you took your cell phone or whatever else electronics that you may have thought you were going to need. You're going to want your stuff locked up. Also on your packing list should be, I'm not going to say laundry detergent, because we sent him with Tide Pods, a travel thing of Tide Pods. He had to lock those up and buy them at the PX. So I will say that first week my husband was in reception and basic training through COVID. This could change, so don't take my word for it. He was able to contact me during reception. I think I talked to him every day. Everybody's experience is different, but I was able to talk to my husband every day when they had free time, which was typically at night, when they were in their barracks. Also, the reception period during COVID while going into basic training, that is a period of isolation. Of course, they are tested, I want to say, at the end of reception to see if they are either COVID negative or COVID positive. Of course, if they are, then they were moved to like sick hall, I think that's what he called it. But they were separated from the other population, and then of course people were able to move into the next phase of basic training. So preparing for basic training wasn't really difficult. I will say it was definitely a waiting game. Also, what I didn't touch on, the day that he left or shipped out was not the actual day he shipped out. The last day we saw each other was, I want to say, on a Monday, which was the 11th or the 9th. Hold on, let me look. January. Okay, the last day that I saw my husband was on the 11th of January. I want to say, I think it was Monday, or was it Sunday? Okay, no, the last day, maybe the last day I saw him was a Sunday. I can't remember. It was either Sunday or Monday was the last day I saw him. I had to drop him off at his recruiter's. His recruiter then took him to the hotel. From the hotel, the next morning, they slept all night at the hotel. No, he could not. I could not sleep at the hotel with him. He couldn't have any visitors. He had to be back in his room at the hotel at a certain time. So I literally drove up to the hotel to see my husband. We sat in the car because, baby, I needed all my time before he left. And then he went back in. I think he had to be back in the hotel room at 8 o'clock or something like that. Then lights went out at a certain time. But of course, he was up watching football or basketball because I was talking to him on the phone. Then the next day, they got up. They went to the airport. At this time, during transit, I was not able to talk to him. When he got to the airport, he did call me. He was able to see my dad when he got to the airport because my dad was, at the time, working at Atlanta Airport. And it was just, he was just waiting there the whole time. They went to the airport to take buses from the airport to Fort Jackson. It was a bus full of people, but they did practice social distancing on the bus. And once he got there, he was like maybe 45 minutes out or an hour out Once he started getting closer and closer to Fort Jackson, that phone, that service on that phone started going out. He was like, babe, my service is probably about to cut out. I'll call you when I can. And that was it. Y'all, I bust out crying. And the next time I talked to him was during reception. And then, of course, he went through reception, everything good. He tested negative. I'm so happy. And he was able to move to his next phase. Once he moved to his next phase, that meant that I would no longer be able to talk to him every day, but I would be able to receive letters when they finally got mail call or he got stationery to write letters, and I may or may not receive a phone call. So after reception, like I said, he tested negative. The next phone call that I knew I was going to get was, this is, what did he say? This is, I think, specialist, or what did he say? I want to say this is something. Jerry, I have arrived at my destination. My mailing address is this company, this platoon, this color, this da-da-da-da-da at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, da-da-da-da-da. Goodbye. Hung up the phone on me. And that's where I gotta stop the video. Thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.